Alrighty guys, welcome to course number 1, Understanding Energy Balance. This is the key principle to understanding weight management. And I'm going to try and keep all these videos short and sweet and straight to the point. I promise I won't go off on a wee tangent. But you've probably experienced this frustrating reality. No matter how much your wee pal eats, they just can't pile on weight, whereas you just have a wee sniff at a pizza and you suddenly pile on hundreds of weight. So let's go through exactly why that is happening. I thought it would be easiest to explain this using the analogy of a car. Now, you might be looking at that thinking, well, Fraz, I'm definitely not a Porsche, but we're all working towards becoming the Porsche. So I'm going to explain how we get you there. Now, first thing that you need to understand is that you have two mechanisms. You've got calories coming in, and this is mainly through every food and drink you contain. That's almost like your fuel supply, and everything that you consume counts towards that. And each food has different calorie values, different macronutrient values, and we'll go into that in a little bit more detail as we get further into it. And then you also have calories out, and this is basically how your body expends calories over the course of the day. And I'm not going to go too deep into this right now, but essentially you've got your basal metabolic rate, heart and lung function, keeping you alive. It makes up 70% of your overall energy expenditure. You've also got daily activities, your movement. We also refer to this as your NEAT. You've got structured exercise, and then finally digesting food actually burns calories as well. So we'll go through that in a lot more detail as we get further into it, but just so that you understand, you've got calories in, calories out. Let's keep it nice and basic, almost like fuel and then using the fuel. So there's three possible scenarios. Number one is weight gain. You've got more calories coming in than you have going out. Weight loss is you have more calories going out than you have coming in. And weight maintenance is calories in, calories out are fairly equal. And this might seem fairly basic for everybody else, but I wanted to cover that base right away at the start. So weight gain. If you put more petrol than you're using to drive around, the tank overflows in your body. This means that you gain weight. This excess energy is primarily stored as fat. Pretty simple stuff. Weight loss, your body taps into that stored energy, primarily that fat store reserve, to make up the difference. So in essence, your body means that, or your body's looking for somewhere to find that fuel, and you start running low on that, and therefore that is how weight loss occurs. Maintenance is just that the tank stays at the same level. I think that we diagram there does it pretty well. No deficit to cause any loss and no excess to store. So we're just sitting fairly hunky-dory at maintenance. The big revelation, here's the big revelation that will save you getting confused by people who like to dress things up, alright? So we've got keto, we've got intermittent fasting, slimming clubs, low carb, low fat, high fat. They all work. They all work in exactly the same way as creating a calorie deficit. You've got keto, reduces calories by limiting carbohydrates and increasing satiety through fat. You've got intermittent fasting. Again, all you're doing is eating within a different time window. Therefore, chances are you're eating less calories. Slimming clubs reduces calories through point systems and accountability. Again, these things all work. Low carb, low fat, they're all the same in terms of balancing calories in versus calories out. So different vehicles will take you to the same destination, and it's up to you which version of that you would like to select. But I always say to people, make sure that you pick a version that fits you and your family's life. If your family hate carbohydrates, maybe low carb might work for you. If your family don't like eating breakfast, maybe intermittent fasting could be a shout for you. These are not the approaches that I would use, because I think that life's for living and you need to actually manage something that fits around a calorie total. That's just my opinion. That's the approach I'm going to be showing you. But again, just so that you understand here that the method, that's the vehicle that you've chosen, keto, low carb, intermittent fasting, and then you've got the principle, which we can't ignore, which is related to energy balance, the destination that every diet eventually gets to, or hopefully gets to. So just to keep that nice and simple, I thought that vehicle analogy was pretty easy to understand. And again, when it comes to losing weight, or if your focus is on losing weight, just try and keep it as simple as possible. You know, it doesn't need to be dressed up as something that it isn't. Don't get confused by the fancy diet names. Oh, here's the next magical secret squirrel program that's going to lose you 40 pounds in 2 weeks. You know, it's a lot of nonsense. So just remind yourself that something that you want to do needs to be something that you see yourself doing a version of 2 or 3 years down the line. See if it's not, then chances are it's just a quick fix and you'll never actually stick with it longer term. So the truth behind the mystery, oh, wee picture there. Remember your friend who eats that pizza and still manages to hold off the weight? They're not magical, they're just naturally balancing their energy without actually realising it. Alright, so chances are these people aren't having the wee snackaroonies during the day. They may eat less at other meals, although they're scoffing their face in front of you. They are just following the energy balance process, and we can't get away from that. We cannot deny that. So over the next wee while, coming up in video number 2, we're going to be setting you and assigning you with a personal calorie target. We're also going to be looking at how we can implement this as a progression inside this 4-week program. Key takeaway, energy balance controls everything. Master this concept and you'll never be confused by diet trends again. Please, please, please do not get caught up in the noise. Just think about that wee car analogy, all right? And we're all working towards becoming a Porsche. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, just let me know. Cheers.